What's going on, YouTube? Back at you again with another video. JC Cowboys Network, you already know what it is. We got a big game coming up, Cowboys Nation, and it's against these Jaguars. And this is another sneaky team that we cannot sleep on. And I'm proud of the team because we got past those Texans, but that was a rough game. So we got to focus and get the job done. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire videos. So Cowboys Nation, you already know what time it is. Let's get it. Getting to know the enemy. Trevor Lawrence, coming in at 6'6" and weighing in at 220 pounds. Sunshine from Remember the Titans. That's probably something that they will say because of what they did to the Titans last week. Bars. Some say he was coming out of college being one of the best prospects since Peyton Manning. This is a player that has the traits to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league. It has been a rough start in his first 2 years of his career, but since week 9, he's been showing promise for the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is one of the tallest and longest quarterbacks in this league. He is an athlete that went to Clemson and started for them for multiple years and won a championship as a true freshman. He is a player that not only has a good arm, but he knows how to extend plays and escape from the pocket. So our Cowboys are going to have to be very disciplined when you're trying to get after him. He is prone to making mistakes, so getting after this player early is extremely important. You do not want this player to get comfortable. In the first 2 years as a starting quarterback, he had a lot of Jaguars fans questioning if he was going to be the quarterback for their future. But in the last 5 games, he has thrown for 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Enemy number 2, Trayvon Walker, coming in at 6'5" and weighing in at 275 pounds. The 2022 NFL's first overall pick. This is a player that was one of the most versatile players coming out last year, who has the ability to play defensive end, 3 technique, or the 6 technique as an outside linebacker. This is a player that comes from a top-tier football program that we will have to keep in check. Trayvon Walker is a player that has violent hands, and he uses it as leverage to attack quarterbacks and ball carriers. He is an athlete that anchors very well, and he has top-notch upper body strength. So playing with good technique is key to slowing this player down. They use this player as a stand-up linebacker, and he has his hand in the dirt. They're utilizing him at all different angles, so we have to make sure we're paying attention to this guy at all times. He is their best player. He is solid at rushing the passer as well as stopping the run. He has a high ankle sprain, so we don't know for sure if this guy is going to play or not. But from the last game, this guy made a big time impact. And if he does play, this is one of the guys that we have to key on. If we're getting guys like Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, all those guys back out there, then I feel real good about stopping this player. But he's not the only one. Josh Allen is another guy on the other side that we'll have to look out for. That is a very good athlete, and he's a guy that we'll have to slow down as well. These are the 2 main players that we'll have to key on if we're going to get a win against this team. The Jaguars are still trying to figure it out from an offense and defensive standpoint. So if we can be disciplined and play smart ball, there's a chance that we can flood these dudes. Moving on to Doug Peterson. He is a coach that is really trying to change the culture for his team. And he knows this very well because he was with the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and this is what he had to say.
Defensively, I mean, this is a good group. This is one of the top defenses in the National Football League right now, and you know they're leading. I think if not leading, or one of the top teams with sacks in the league. And Micah Parsons is a special athlete and a special player, and even number 90 over there is a great player, and he can get after the passer. So work's cut out for us. Great opportunity, but again, if you want to be in the playoffs, you got to be able to play teams like this and see what happens.
So with that being said, this team is going to be focused on DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So it's up to Dan Quinn to pick these guys in the right position and get these guys going. Key matchups in the gridiron. Damone Clark versus Travis Etienne. Jaguars are a team that uses Etienne in the run game as well as the pass game. Our best linebacker to go toe-to-toe with Etienne will be Damone Clark. He has shown that he belongs, and with his pass coverage, it'll be one of the keys to locking down their offense. Damone Clark is a player that is really stepping up for us. He is truly showing that he belongs. And this is a player that had spinal fusion surgery in the offseason. So he is really stepping up and doing what he has to do. Because when you're wearing number 18 jersey for LSU, that should tell us all we need to know about this guy, and he has shown it thus far. So we're proud of him, but he got to keep this thing going because these games in the playoffs are going to be very important down the stretch. Player that we will have to keep our eye on, Evan Ingram. This is a player that had 11 receptions, 162 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the last game. Doug Peterson usually gets the best out of his tight ends, so he is a player that we have to set our focus on as well. Izzy Mukuamu is a guy that has his size, so I feel good about Izzy going up against him. It'll be extremely important to slow this player down. As far as Micah Parsons, he'll be going up against Cam Robinson. And Cam Robinson is a guy that gives up a lot of plays from time to time. The last 2 games, Micah Parsons has not gotten home, but he is a headhunter. So this team is going to have to be very careful when you're going up against this player because he is an athlete that will truly ruin this game. And that's exactly what we need this player to do. And Trevor Lawrence, he was not sacked at all the last game. So they did pretty good at blocking for him and protecting him. But they have never seen a pass rush like ours before. Giving out flowers. Will McClay. When you bring in guys like Tyler Smith, Damone Clark, Deron Bland, Malik Davis, Sam Williams, Jake Ferguson, and Peyton Hendershot all in 1 year, mix these guys with our top veterans, that's how you win championships, Cowboys Nation. Shout outs to him for sure. Moving on to their wide receivers, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, and Zay Jones are all of their main guys. And these guys are averaging 10 yards per catch. So these guys are truly explosive. As far as Christian Kirk, he is a slippery athlete. And he is one of the main guys that we have to focus on because he's the one that will break this game if we cannot contain Trevor Lawrence. Because Trevor Lawrence loves to extend plays, and with that wide receiver, he gets open. So Deron Bland, he's going to have to go out there and do work. I feel real good about our cornerbacks going up against these guys. Trayvon Diggs, Kelvin Joseph, and Deron Bland. But these guys got to stay focused because this is a big time test. They love to stretch the field and we have to look out for it. But if we can be able to get a big time pass rush, we should be able to give these guys problems all game. Opening the victory door. These are players that will have to make a difference this week if they're going to get a win against this team. Micah Parsons will have to hunt this game and get after Lawrence early to get him off his spot. As for Tony Pollard, this is a defense that tends to play really aggressive at times, and from their tape, they seem to get washed out of plays quickly. Pollard has the ability to gash this team, and it'll shift momentum on the Cowboys side. It's go time, Cowboys Nation. This is a big opportunity for us, Cowboys Nation, and we have to go get this job done. We cannot overlook this team and look ahead to the Eagles game, because when that happens, that's when you end up losing games. So we got to stay focused, know what the task at hand is, and go out there and do work. But we have the athletes to flood these guys and get them off the field. But we just got to go do it. I have a friend that is a Jaguars fan, and he can't stand me, and I can't stand him. It is a big time rivalry in all of football, fantasy football, and it's been going on like that for years. So we got to get these guys out the way and drop bombs on them, ready to explode. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe so y'all can come vibe. You already know what it is. Gone.